if I'm doing an ad on Officially Sonny right now, it's $2,500 for a post. So if a company wants me to make a Hi, my name's Sonny video, and with a product, things you learn along the way is for every 100,000 followers, 1,000 is minimum. So if you got 100,000 followers and somebody wants to do a promo post with you, you should be charging 1,000. If your engagement rate is 10, I would say most accounts engagement rates are probably 1 or 2%. If you're up at 10%, then you can double that, you know.
Today on the Scratch Golf Show, we feature one of the most famous people in the golf Instagram world, Officially Sonny. Now, Sonny makes thousands of dollars posting memes and other types of videos on his Officially Sonny page and the meme page he runs, Group Chat Golf. Now, he breaks down how he makes thousands, how he calculates his net worth, and he also talks about how creators undervalue themselves. So make sure you watch, and you may be surprised as to what your worth is as a creator. If you're new here to the Scratch Golf Show, welcome to the channel. My name is Marco. We mainly focus on interview-style videos with the top creators in the golf content space. If you could do me a favor, hit that subscribe button below. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the start of the Masters in April. I'm going to be giving away a free lab putter at 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you hit that sub button. It takes one click, and it really helps me out. Like the video, leave a comment for your favorite part with Sonny, and enjoy the interview today. We've got Sonny. Sonny, welcome to the Scratch Golf Show, man. Really appreciate
Thank you for having me,
this evening. Yeah, dude, you've been on yeah, absolutely, man. I know we were just talking a little bit offline. You've been on a podcast heater the last, week or so. You've done a bunch. I guess talk to me about what your life's been like the last 2 to 3 months-ish. When you've been kind of going through. I know your channel or your page is really taken off. So I guess what's life been like the last couple months as you've been kind of blowing up?
Yeah, it's funny because I actually have a golf meme page too called Group Chat Golf, and nobody really knows that no one really knew who I was, and I've been doing that since 2020. So that page has been bigger than Officially Sonny for a long time, and but nobody knew my face. So it's funny now, kind of having a little bit of a following on my personal page and people seeing me and stuff. And the opportunities have been plentiful since I've been putting my face out there. So it's been crazy,
sure, man.
Definitely different. But in a great way. I mean, I'm never going to I don't see myself ever getting sick of somebody coming up to me and being like, hey, Sonny. It feels amazing every time.
For sure, man. You got the green wall video, which I find super cool. The thing I love about content is like, for golf, there's so many different avenues you could go. For me, it's like doing these interviews with people and the personalities. But for you, it's like something as simple as just recording hilarious content in front of like a 2x4 green wall and posting on Instagram, man. That's awesome. Yeah, we definitely want to get into the meme page, which I know you've talked about, and I want to hear kind of what life is like doing that. But I guess to start, you just want to do just a brief intro of yourself, who you are, where you're from, and how you got started in the content space?
Yeah, absolutely. So my real name's Mike, as people are usually sad to find out it's not really Sonny, but I've had the nickname Sonny since probably my first day of college, which was 17 years ago. So I live in Rhode Island, so winters still suck for now anyway. I started playing golf when I was young. I was 13, right after Little League baseball, and then played in high school. I loved golf. I went to college for professional golf management. And then I burnt myself out after a couple years as an assistant pro, and I took some time off and then got back into playing. And then 2020, I started the meme page. And it's funny, when I was like 17 or 18 or something, I had a fishing page for Rhode Island called 401. It was called Fish Brag 401. So that was 15 years ago. And I've just loved content. I've always loved memes too.
For sure.
Relatable things that make you realize that you're not the only one that feels some type of way.
Yeah.
It's just I love being able to relate to people and feel like they can relate to me. So it's creating content like based around something that I love as much as golf has been a blessing. I'm super lucky to be able to do it, and the community is awesome. I mean, we're all just golf nerds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what type of way we consume the game, we're consumers of it, and we love it. Yeah. And it's awesome to be surrounded by so many people who feel the same way.
No, for sure. I completely relate to that. That's why I love kind of any meme page, but memes in general, because a bunch of my friends actually send me Group Chat Golf memes on a regular basis. So it's good to know your works. But that's awesome that you started at kind of 2020 and now you're doing your own page. And I guess from the meme standpoint, I love it so much because like you kind of hit the nail on the head. That's why I love also Bev Boys too, Nick, who I know you've talked to, is you guys make very relatable, like
average golf content, which is like when a guy can relate to, you know, the meme where it's like, I think you were just talking, I just was watching one of yours. Obviously you have the tight lip nodder, which is, you know, that one is awesome. I'm sure that one you probably get, you know, kind of the most recognized from that one, but even
That's
like the cart girl, or I rewatched the one of you talking about the guy in the golf store. It's like, I'm not going to buy shit. I'm just here to try every putter. It's like, that's me every time I go into any golf store ever, man. So that's awesome. So I guess, you know, you do this full time, which I think is super cool. But I had a quick question. Did you do the PGM at Fair State? Is that when you were kind of up in the Michigan area?
Coastal Carolina.
Okay.
Down in Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
Okay. So, from a meme perspective, how did you kind of get into doing it, like as a full-time career, and like how did that get started?
So I started them without even telling anybody, and I just was like, I'm going to start making golf memes and see what happens. There weren't many. I didn't follow many pages that did that at the time. I think Gods and PGA memes, but I didn't know that there was a whole area of smaller golf pages. I didn't know they existed. So I just came in hot, and I posted 5 to 10 memes every day for the first year without missing a day. And they were all made by me, you know, whatever, like pop culture or whatever memes were going around, I was just pumping them out. So I was fortunate enough to have a lot of my stuff shared by the big pages, which helped because I was just putting out so much stuff. But I knew I never wanted to be a guy that people. I didn't want to put the pressure on myself of being a guy that people watch play all the time. That's not my. And I'm a one handicap. I'm a good golfer, and but I don't want people to be like, oh, we got to watch him play. You know, I like it for the comedy aspect of it. It's more relatable that way. I've never been a huge PGA Tour guy. I watch golf. I've watched Tiger growing up. You know, but I like playing the game more than I like watching it. So I try to relate to the people that do that because I feel like there's so much more. I mean, I would say maybe 1 out of 10 people that play golf watch it on TV consistently, and that's probably a generous number. So I try to relate to the masses in that sense. I think it's way easier, and those are the people I relate to. So.
For sure. No, that's awesome. And I agree with you because I think we're seeing a lot of like, it's funny you say since like 2020 because, you know, for me, I've been doing my channel, it'll be a year in April, but I've been thinking about doing it since 2020. Obviously, COVID kind of took off and made really everyone get into golf. And I think there's so many different avenues to kind of grow from 2020. But I guess what I'm curious about is like, from like a full-time perspective, like as somebody, you know, obviously, you know, you see the Grant Horvats, the guys on YouTube. For them, obviously, they make money with brands and YouTube. How does somebody, I guess, who focuses more on like a short-form content, like how are you getting paid running kind of a meme page? Because I know you said you were doing it full-time, and obviously, I assume you want to get paid and have income, right? So how did that work?
So the meme page definitely took me a little while to become full-time with. I mean, for a while, I was driving Uber just so I didn't have to actually go work for someone. You know?
Fair enough.
I feel like, you know, a couple days a week driving Uber was actually awesome. I really enjoyed it. But just, you know, it's mostly brand deals, you know, ads. You wait for time, you know, and a lot of people don't know like what they're worth on social media. And if you have good numbers, like you're worth a lot more than you think. You know, so like everyone's pretty transparent about what it costs to do ads. So if I'm doing an ad on Officially Sonny right now, it's $2,500 for a post. So if a company wants me to make a "Hi, my name's Sonny" video, and with a product or something, and the good thing about the videos is they work. That even if they're ads, people still watch them because they just they seem like a regular video. With the memes, I just did it as in meme form. So I charge a little bit less on the meme page, even though it has more followers, just because the engagement's not the same and all that, but. Ever since I started, I would show brands, you know, my ideas for what I could meme with their product. And I said, you know, this meme has standalone value. It'll get shared around. People won't even realize it. And then, you know, the numbers are good on those. And I also do events. So I try to do 1 or 2 tournaments a year. Sponsors for that definitely help. And then whenever stuff comes up, like last summer, I drove an ice cream truck around the country for Topgolf for 3 months, and you know, and they paid me to do that. Well, I mean, awesome, whatever comes up, you just kind of, you know, you take the brand, you say no to a lot of brands, which you feel bad for, and you know, sometimes it's tough to tell someone it's $2,500 for a post. You know, it doesn't feel real, but. You know, you're worth what you're worth on social media, and
it's today's day and age, man.
A lot of people have like agents and stuff now. And I think about it all the time because negotiating is tough, especially when you're working with like a small brand or something and you want to give them a deal, but you also then a big brand comes to you and they charge you $1,000 more than you ask for, and it's like,
Right.
There's two sides to it. So you work with brands you want to work with, and you try to garnish good relationships and work with people long term whenever you get a chance to. And
For sure.
Good products and good brands sell, and everything works out when they have something, and when they don't, usually they don't, and then brands get mad at you for performing, and you're like, so you gotta be careful with who you work with. You want them to be happy too. There's a lot of pressure when you're doing an ad for it to perform well. So
for sure.
Yeah.
So I have so many follow-ups because this is where I'm genuine. Like I have a lot of curiosity, and I'm sure a lot of creators do too. So like, how do you come? Like obviously 2,500, you've grown your page and both pages obviously over the last year or so. But like, I guess when you say, how do you come up with like that number? Like what goes into calculating? Like here's what I'm worth. Like what numbers? I guess for people who maybe aren't aware or maybe looking to kind of have those conversations with brands as their channel grows as a creator.
So I would say that a base number, depending on obviously engagement rate comes into play with how many who your posts are getting seen by. Are they only going to your followers? Are they getting outside that? But I would say that one of the main things you learn along the way is for every 100,000 followers, 1,000 is minimum. So if you got 100,000 followers and somebody wants to do a promo post with you, you should be charging 1,000. If your engagement rate is 10, I would say most accounts' engagement rates are probably 1 or 2%. If you're up at 10%, then you can double that, or more. So I think my engagement rate, you can find it on a website. You can just Google, Instagram engagement rate and type in your ad. It'll pop right out for you.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I've been fortunate enough along the way that all the big creators have helped me out, and like I said, everybody is really open about that.
For sure.
So everybody can be on the same page. You'd hate for somebody to not get what they're worth, and then everybody else kind of get screwed because of it. So everyone's really open about what they're charging, and you just kind of figure it out, and you get a lot of no's, especially when you charge what you're worth. Like people say no constantly, and that's just part of the game. You got to wait, And like I said, those big brands have the budgets to pay creators. Just do your research and find out what your worth is. Because if you have 20,000 followers and a good engagement rate, that's more valuable than a meme page with 200,000 with a low one. So those things really do matter. Those numbers of how many people you're reaching outside of your followers, what your engagement rate is, your impression. All those numbers matter. They look at all that. They don't care about follower numbers. They don't care about likes.
For sure. Well, I appreciate the insight, man. That's super cool. Like I said, we haven't had it. I mean, we've had a ton of creators on, but no one who really focuses on Instagram. And for me, cause I'm kind of going through that right now of learning what my worth is and having these conversations. So I appreciate the insight.
Yeah, of course.
So from a brand perspective, do you I know you mentioned you charge per post. Like, are you mainly focusing on like 1-time or 2-time partnerships where it's like, let's just say whatever, Callaway hypothetically was like, hey, I want you to do 2 posts, here's $5,000. Or are you looking for more of like a long-term partnership, let's say like a 6-month where you have to do whatever 3 or 4 posts a month?
I try to look for long-term relationships. They're tough to find. But it's nice to just like Original Penguin, for instance, I'm sponsored by with clothing, and they pay me. I wear it to everything, and they pay me a monthly retainer for it. So that's the kind of deal that I love. But even when I always try to push brands to do more posts because it makes it less money for them, and it gives them more of brand awareness from me, so I can kind of get my job done. A lot of brands come and they say, we want sales. That's what we want out of this post, and they're a brand new brand and they have 100 followers, and it's like, if the product's good, it'll sell and you'll see some numbers. But if it's not, and people have never heard of the brand and they just see one post, they're never going to think about it again.
Right.
So I try to do like sets of 4, and stuff like that, and just kind of, they can spread them out however they want to. But anytime I can work with somebody for longer than one, then I would rather do that because I can give them more. And a lot of brands, new brands or small brands, they don't really understand that you're paying for brand awareness. When a company like Michelob Ultra or Original Penguin or all these big brands, Bud Light, whatever, they want to see. They're there for the brand awareness. They don't need somebody to go out to the store and buy their beer right there. Right. They want people to know that they're working with these cool creators that are on brand with them. and that's the bigger thing. So it's tough, and I get it. You know, when you're a brand new business and you have no marketing budget and you're just starting out from scratch, like you want to make sales when you spend $1,000 for a post.
Right.
You know,
For sure.
so
No, man, I think that. Cool. I think it's really cool. Like, I just think the whole process of what you're doing. And whenever I try to have creators on, you know, kind of when I started doing this, I was doing more pro golf, and I've really kind of leaned into the creators the last couple months. It's just super cool to hear your process and on how stuff works and kind of how you got where you are. It's super appreciate the insight. So you mentioned a lot of people have agents, and I guess just a follow up question would be like, do you have your own email that you're monitoring kind of on a day-to-day basis when people are reaching out to you? Or are you doing that on Instagram where you're kind of promoting your content? How do people kind of reach out to you when they want to have those conversations and set up those meetings with you?
So there are it's a lot of DMs, a lot of times in emails. My email's in my account, or it'll be, you know, there are a couple media agencies out there. Catalyst 9 is one of them. What's the other one? Digital Golf Collective. I know the owners of those agencies, and they might put somebody in touch with me or connect me via email and say, hey, this person's looking to work with you. Here's an intro, and then you go from there. So I have some good relationships with some people in areas that can help me out with that.
Okay.
But I would say mainly it's emails and DMs, and I answer almost every DM that comes in, or at least like it. So,
appreciate that.
That's a big part of, you know, growing a community that's tight, and that's like what I want. You know, I don't want to just be somebody who. I remember when I was first growing, I thought somebody with 10,000 followers would never see my DM. Like once you get that pay in your account, but you know, now I see everyone that comes through, and I know a lot of other people do. So it's not that hard to just, you know, tell people you appreciate them and whatever.
Yeah, no, dude, I get that, man. I appreciate that from somebody who does all their personal outreach on Instagram. You know, I do some cold emails, but strictly I do all my outreach via Instagram, and so it's good to know that the 1,000 DMs I've sent, people do see them. And I know you got back to me on the first one, man. So thank you for that. Let's focus on kind of, I guess, the green. I don't want to call the green wall kind of your shtick, but it's kind of fell into your niche. So how did that come to be, and how did you like come up with this idea of I'm just going to talk in front of a green wall and make kind of memes from it about relatable golf content?
I've always really loved like written comedy, and I like the cinematic style, which I don't think many people incorporate. A lot of people, and they're way more talented than me, they rely on their acting for stuff, right? St. Andre, Bev is, you know, all those skit pages, they're great actors. I like to do, I happen to know golf really well, and I don't write my actual skit, I just write the first line and I freestyle the rest, and then I cut it up in a video. So I think I had that leftover green thing from an old office I had, and I cut it up and put it behind me and sat in front of it. I recorded one video. I never thought it was going to be a whole thing. I think the first one I recorded was I'm starting a petition to shorten golf rounds to 7 hours. I think that was
I remember that.
And it just took off, and then I was like, you know what? I really love that the Sarah McLachlan song "Angel," which I've been using to do in some new videos that I've been doing. But I just really wanted that like sad vibe, and I love cutting to the black and whites like that. It just adds so much, and the slow mos. And I was like, what's going to happen if I just put all this together and talk for a little while, and then just put it out there and see how it goes? And I had grown such a following of the group chat golf that I didn't want to just stop posting memes and just do video content there. It's like a tough switch, you know. But I saw the way that things were moving with video content, and I was like, I need to get in on it somehow. So I do those videos on my group chat golf TikTok, and then I do them on Officially Sonny on Instagram. So the green wall, I didn't think it was going to stick for around as long as it did. I've probably done 200 of those videos now.
That's crazy.
And I got the wall. It's permanently on my wall in my spare room now. I sit in front of a little chair. It started in my basement. It looked like a kidnapping situation, like a ransom video, but nobody can tell. It's only just as wide as me. It's not a whole wall, and it's like it's literally just what you can see behind me. That's actually the green wall. But it's become a thing. People send me videos from like their Airbnbs, and they're like, "Hey man, I got this green wall in here. Look at this or look at that." Every time we walk by one, people bring it up. So it's a good shtick to have. It just so happened that I had it laying around, and I wanted a backdrop. And I have a feeling that I'm going to have a green wall for the rest of my life because of it.
For sure. My wife has sent me a couple, ironically enough. My
Nice.
wife's not super into golf. I think she sent me the 7-hour one,
Yeah.
ironically enough. So from a short form creator perspective, you mentioned Instagram and TikTok. Do you focus more on one than the other? Have you found it, I guess a better question, but like, have you found it difficult to grow your platform on an Instagram versus a TikTok?
I think TikTok is a little bit tougher. It's totally different, in my opinion. I've definitely had some viral videos on TikTok, but even as a TikTok consumer, I don't scroll people I follow. So on TikTok, you just have a chance of going to everybody, which I do like, but there's also less of a feeling of community on TikTok. So in the comments and stuff, like people, you feel like you know everybody in your Instagram comments because it's the same people. But on TikTok, it just seems completely random. Everyone's account, you can't go look at who somebody is on TikTok. You know, it feels like everybody is just out there to troll, you know?
Yeah.
So I think, I've posted all the same videos on TikTok. I think I have like 67,000 followers there. And so it hasn't been quite as fast as everything else.
Yeah.
And even like YouTube, I don't know YouTube. I don't consume content on YouTube either. It's not my thing. I'll post shorts here and there. And I would love to get into it, but the production side is just tough. You know, when you're alone, when you're just one person and you're trying to put out content, long form is almost impossible. I don't know how, like Busted Jack, for example, the guy started with 2 guys passing the camera back and forth. That is impressive. So
No, dude,
short form content, I like Instagram personally, and I've always been a look at the pictures on the magazine type of guy. So Instagram was always for me. I was never a Twitter guy or anything else. I've been on Instagram strong since probably 2012, 2013.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna say, I know I saw Group Chat Golf had a YouTube page. It doesn't sound like you're. I don't want to put words in, but it doesn't sound like you're mainly putting a ton of focus on the YouTube side. Just really Instagram
and even TikTok. I'll go out there. Sometimes I'll miss with my posts on TikTok from Instagram, but most of the time after I post them or just whenever. Instagram, I have more of a timing thing where I post at the same time every day, like 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9 p.m. I'll post my main video, and sometimes I'll do like a tweet in the morning or something. But TikTok, I'll just post whenever. It doesn't seem like it matters as much on TikTok the time.
Yeah.
And then YouTube, I'll just pop. I always forget about YouTube. I'll pop on there and try to throw a short out or something. But I think people are looking for the golf on YouTube. I noticed from my shorts that the shorts that have actual golf in it, people watch. And the ones that are like my comedy sketches don't get as many views. So it's a different clientele on there. They want to see golfers golf.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Obviously for me, I can relate so much to what you're talking about from doing the one-man show kind of long-form content. Obviously doing it's funny because I don't consider myself a podcast, but I've kind of fallen into that niche kind of with what I'm doing. So some people call it, I don't personally view myself as a podcast, but like video interviews. And for me, like, I consume a lot of that, like, YouTube content. Like, I love YouTube. I've always been a YouTube guy. I used to watch Call of Duty videos. I'm 31, so I'm obviously not young by any stretch, but I grew up on YouTube. So when golf came to YouTube, I was like, sweet. And obviously, I consume a lot of that. But for me, like, I believe in the presence of YouTube. Like, I'm not great. Right. I don't understand the Instagram algorithm. I'm also not great about consistency. And I know that. I think you've talked about it. I know a ton of other creators have. Like, Instagram is the one where it's like you have to be consistently posting to stay in the algorithm. And I do have a full-time job, so I don't get the free time to edit as many shorts and stuff as I would have liked. So that Instagram stays tough. But what I was gonna say was gonna be around the algorithm actually. So like you mentioned, Instagram is your main focus. Do you have like a good understanding of the so-and-so algorithm? Like how important is it to stay consistent on an Instagram when you're constantly trying to grow your page like you are?
Yeah, I think Instagram, like you said, it's the most important one to stay up to date with and just keep posting. And I've also noticed for me, and this has gone on for 5 years now, anything that I post between 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. Eastern and 7:30 p.m. Eastern is almost a throwaway post. So like I would say like 8 to 10 a.m. and then after 7:30 or 8 p.m. are the two best times to post on Instagram in my experience, and that's been with both pages, with Reels, with memes. But if I don't post for a week, like everything goes down.
That's crazy,
all that exponential growth that you've been accumulating from posting day after day after day, it kind of just like all comes to a halt, and then you got to start it up again. So
Yeah.
because that's what it is with Instagram. It's exponential, right? It's like the way that I've always thought about it, and I've watched some things where people, or news places or meme pages, they'll post 50 times a day, and it doesn't hurt you when the more you post on Instagram.
For sure.
It doesn't. There's no thing in there in the algorithm that says this person's posting too much, we're going to take it down. Obviously, like bad posts about bad things won't do well. They do a good job of closing those down. But for the most part, I mean, just post, and the more every post is potential followers. So the more you put out, the more you're going to get.
No, I've agreed with you. From everyone I've talked to, 8 to 10 a.m. is kind of that. Basically for me, if I don't get a post up by 10 a.m., I've noticed the same thing where I've experimented because my page on Instagram is still very small. I have under 1,000 followers, but I've noticed that the ones that I post, for me, I try to post it after 7, but it's good to know after 8 because that shit does matter. Like I've talked to someone, my buddy's girlfriend or fiance works at Instagram, and she said the same shit, that consistency is so important. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to get dragged on into kind of the whole process stuff. I really appreciate the conversation. I'm super interested in that. But you mentioned you're obviously a good golfer. I know you had talked about it on another podcast, but I want to talk a little bit about your golf game, man. So you're a one handicap. You used to work in the golf field. How often are you playing now that you're kind of full time into content? And how's your game kind of? I guess have you gotten better since kind of going full time into the golf? I guess meme or golf content space.
So I just joined a course for the first time, pretty much ever. I had a couple of memberships here and there that I didn't play as much as I wanted to, but I joined a course in the fall. And I played as much as I could. But I would say on a normal week, I try to play twice, maybe 3 times. Okay. Mostly on the weekends, like every Saturday or every Sunday morning, at the course, there's a game. Tuesday afternoons, we do like a league, so I'll play 18 on Tuesday. And then usually like Friday afternoon, I like to play. That's like, I feel like Friday afternoon is just
the best
time to play golf. It's that or Sunday morning. But Friday afternoon, even through working at the golf course, it was when all the guys got out of work. Everyone was ready for the weekend. There's a vibe about Friday afternoon golf that I just love.
I get it.
So my game, I would say, I was better when I was in my early 20s because I cared a lot more. Now I did like kind of push myself into like a more chill golf vibe with the meme and everything, which I'm glad about because I enjoy it so much more. When I was hard on myself and I was like, +1 handicap, and it was like I was always trying to break par. I would get mad when I was in bad shots, and now I just go out there and I have a good time. And, if I shoot 82, I don't care. If I shoot 68, I don't like. It's all. So I'm just out there to enjoy it now. I would say there are days, where I'll shoot under par, and there are days where I'll shoot mid 80s. It's just that's golf.
Yeah. No, man, I'm a scratch. I'm been floating between kind of a +1 scratch. Nice. So I'm kind of in that same spot. I would say we're probably pretty close to the same, man. Like I've gotten better, really since COVID, so much more free time, and obviously, and like for me, I'm kind of in that same point where like I was a 1 and I would get really mad. And now that I've not gotten mad, I've just kind of been more free. It's much more enjoyable. Where, like you said, if I shoot, I know I have the talent to shoot 68, but I've kind of gotten over the fact that that's not going to happen every time I step foot on the course. So, how much has your life changed, like around golf since you started making content? Obviously, you mentioned you love getting recognized, which I'm sure is super cool. I'm hoping one day I can get recognized by just one person who saw my video. Like, how much is it?
First one, man. I still remember the first person.
I bet, dude. So, like, how much has your life changed since you started making content?
It's different. It's definitely different. But it's kind of how I always felt in golf anyway. Like working at the course, it's kind of the same vibe, right? It's like everybody who walked into the course knew you. I just have a way bigger community now. And the fact that it's all golfers, I love that because I can go anywhere in the world that doesn't have to do with golf and nobody will ever have an idea who I am. And I walk into like a golf space, which I love being in golf spaces. And then people start to recognize you. So it's definitely different. I mean, before COVID and even during it, the first year and a half, 2 years, I owned a dry cleaners and a tailor shop. So I was making my content while I was going to work every day. Like,
wow.
And so it's a lot different of where I thought I was going to end up at the time. I thought that was my life. I thought I was going to, just like my family did, and just grind away. So I never expected any of this. The best part about it is the perks. I mean, the free stuff the amount of boxes that I
Yeah, dude.
accumulate, man. My recycle every week is just like full of boxes. It's somebody who told me at the beginning, they were like, you're going to come to a point where you're going to say no to brands who want to send you stuff. And you do have to get to that point after a while. But
Yeah.
after working in the golf industry and being on staff with like Callaway and getting free clubs back then, and then going into the world of having to pay for everything, and then coming back into the world of getting the stuff for free, it's this crazy full circle. And I'm so lucky because what's better than free golf stuff, man? It's like, dude, it's crazy. And the bigger you get, the more things you get. And like, I mean, this is crazy for me. Like somebody just Full Swing, shout out to them. They just sent me they're sending me a like their kit launch monitor. It's like a $5,000 launch monitor, and I met him at the PGA show, and so it's like the things that you get, just even if you're not selling posts and stuff, just to be in that community it's outrageous. It's crazy.
Dude, I haven't got recognized, but dude, and I have a follow-up question, but I just want to get something off my chest because you mentioned it, dude. Like starting my channel, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Just started content. I don't want to say it's a channel, but started content. Like I didn't know what I want to do. I just know that I come from sales, so like my background in selling and relationships like kind of fits naturally, and like, dude, it's so cool, like, getting the free shit. Like, I love that. Like, I'm not making that, I'm not profitable. I'm spending my own money on this, but, like, I have an apparel sponsor who sends me free shit. I got, dude, I can go to any PGA Tour event I want to with all the caddies I've interviewed. Like, for example, I think I told you I'm going down to to West Palm this weekend. I just got a bunch of free tickets to the Cognizant on Saturday. I've gotten a couple lab putters. I mean, dude, and it's like, I'm still small, so I can't even imagine what your life is like. So, dude, I know, dude. That is a super cool perk, man. I get free, hopefully getting free range balls. I don't like to ask for free stuff, but like it's like gotten to a point where like your worth. Like I know that I'm at least worth not paying for shit, at that point. So
and it's funny you said that you weren't sure where you wanted to go when you started or what direction, because I remember when I first started Group Chat Golf, my idea was to get followers and then sell head covers. And I've never sold a head cover in my life. Once I started growing, I was like, I'm just going to keep growing and figure it out. And I feel like I'm still in that phase where I'm like, my main thing is just growth. And I think if you focus on growing, then the other stuff will just fall into place.
No, for sure, man. I get it. It's super cool. One question I did have was going to be around kind of the club content, and I know obviously you're getting a bunch of cool free stuff now. Do you have a club deal? Do you have, like, even if it's just like a wedge deal or a putter deal, do you work with any club brands?
So I don't have any specific deals, but I work so closely with Topgolf that I have got. Last year they fitted me with all Callaway. I mean, I didn't get fitted, but they gave me all Callaways. So I have all Callaways. I've gotten a putter from Lab. A couple other like small brands have made putters for me, which is really cool. But I'm looking for a club brand right now. I've been talking to Strixon. They're sending me some wedges and to see how things go. I want to get a club deal with somebody, and I've never been like a club nerd. Yeah. You put a club in my hand, I bought used my whole life. Like I've never gotten fitted for anything, and you just kind of figure out what you got in your hands, and that's it. So it would be cool to go like get the fitting experience with somebody and all that stuff. Like that's the main thing, I think. If somebody was to, I don't even need to get paid. If somebody's going to fly me out to get fitted with the team to make content around that, I think everybody likes that. Like I actually bought a shaft on Temu for $35 a couple months ago. And I got to use it. I hooked it up to I put the little Callaway adapter on there, and I put it in the driver, and I was hitting it great in Arizona a couple weeks ago. So I want to be able to show stuff like that and do more actual golf stuff. It's tough, like I said, just being on my own and creating like golf content itself is tough. So, I can at least do my thing in the meantime, and then I've been trying to like sprinkle in the putting videos out here. Just to kind of show that like I also play golf. So
that's awesome. From a club perspective, you're playing? You said you're playing all Callaway. I guess. Do you mind talking about kind of what's in the bag?
Yeah, no, I have. I think they're Callaway. See, I don't even know anything about clubs. I have a combo set where they're like Callaway, probably like an Apex, muscle back, cavity back combo set. So I have muscle backs to my 8-iron and then 7 through 3 cavity back. Yeah. I have the AI Smoke driver, which I love so much. That driver's my favorite for a while. Yeah. And I had the triple diamond, and I just switched to the max because I couldn't hit the triple diamond very well. So Then same with the 3-wood, the AI Smoke Max and the hybrid 3-iron or 2-iron hybrid.
Yeah.
And Callaway Jaws wedges and right now, I mean, my putter is atrocious. I'm switching.
Me and you both, man.
I have an Odyssey mallet that I use most of the time.
Okay.
I have the lab, and then I have this blade that True Blue sent me, which I love.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
You said all blacked out with a copper insert, which is
that's sick.
Pretty. It's pretty. I actually have it right here. I'll show you.
Yeah, that's sick. I can't remember which pod you posted it on, but I remember.
Yeah, it's all black, no writing on it or anything.
That's sick.
And then it's just got the copper insert in the back.
That's sick.
So, I'm a putter. I love putters, and I can't putt with any of them, so I might as well. I just keep adding them to the bag.
For sure.
I do really love Wilson irons. I've had my eyes on those for a while, so I'd love to work with them. I just like irons that are like sleek and bladey and whatever. I know I shouldn't be hitting them, but they just look better.
It's an eye thing. You got to feel comfortable with what you're hitting.
Yeah. What do you have in the bag?
I got I've been playing Titleist T100s for
nice.
5 years. Before that, I played AP2s for 5 years, and then before that, I played 712 MBs for 4 years. So yeah, I'm a big Title. I used to be a Titleist slut for just I would never get fitted. I love their wedges and I love their irons. So naturally, I bought all their stuff. But now I'm kind of agnostic. I did get fit for a driver. I have the Paradigm Triple Diamond, which I got fit for. I got a mini driver, which I love. I got rid of my 3-wood last year.
The mini drivers now.
The mini drivers are awesome, dude. Yeah. I'm not a 3-wood guy. Like, I really, really struggle hitting woods off the deck. Like, I can hit a driver off the deck, but I cannot hit a 3-wood off the deck. I think it's more of like a mental block that I keep topping it. Yeah. So I got the mini driver last year. I love it. It's a versatile club, and then I go 2-iron. I have a T200, but I'm actually looking to get a 7-wood when I get back from Florida.
Me too, man. I heard the 7-wood's all the rage right now. You need one.
Yeah, 7-wood and yeah. 7-wood and the mini driver, I think, are both very hot clubs. Then I play some sub 70. It's like I
love that.
Sub 70. You know sub 70? Yeah. So I had their CEO on. He was like my second guest, and I've had a decent relationship with them. They've sent me some stuff. So anyway, but yeah, then I got the lab. I'm trying out the DF3 and the Oz. They sent me both, and I'm trying to figure out which one I want to roll when I bring to Florida. From a content perspective, I guess future plans for the rest of this year, like, are you going to roll up? Because I know you just mentioned you were at Arizona, which I wish we would have linked up, but are you going to roll up to more like, I guess, like some of these creator classic style events like at Sawgrass, or I guess what does your content look like if you try to expand, or content plans for kind of this summer?
Yeah, so I would love to get into more of that stuff. I think the fact that I don't have much of a YouTube presence kind of leaves me out of a lot of that content, like creator classics and stuff like that, but I do know a lot of the people, so that helps. I think I will do more YouTube content this year, especially I've become really close with Nick from Bev Boys. We talked about doing a lot of skits together. We're actually going to Pinehurst next week with me, him, and St. Andre to do some work. So hopefully I can do more of that stuff. I love the sketch comedy, and I want to be better at acting so I can be on the same level as those guys. But I think sketch, it's always going to be my thing. I'd like to incorporate more golf into it. But obviously it'd be great to go out there and play 2-on-2 matches with a bunch of YouTube creators. Everybody wants to do that. That's the dream, right? But, until I get there, I'm just going to focus on the comedy stuff and maybe try to do a little more longer form stuff for YouTube that I can clip into 1-minute clips. Try to but pushing people from app to app is really tough.
It's tough, man. No, I know. It's
one
hard.
to the other. And it's like, you got to just grow on each app individually and just like commit to doing it. So I know I need to put my time in on the YouTube stuff. I'd love to play more in the content. I'd love to play in that kind of stuff. So
it's saturated, man. It's hard.
Right. Like PGA Memes, he's a good friend of mine, Travis, and I always try to play in his tournaments. He has them at really nice courses. And then like I'll have my own, and anytime I'll get asked to play in anything, I usually try to get to it. I don't like to turn down opportunities to travel somewhere.
For sure.
I understand have that thing coming up at TPC Sawgrass, and Callaway's doing a big thing with their creators there, and I am trying to work my way into Callaway. I would love to go on to work with them. I was on staff with them when I was an assistant pro, so it would be a real full circle moment for me to come back and do something with Callaway. And they obviously have so many great creators on their team too. So
Yeah. I'd love to see you with Bob Does Sports. You guys would be hilarious, dude.
Yeah, I got to meet him actually at the Waste Management, which was fun.
Oh, you did, dude? I got a picture with him. I didn't
No.
get linked up with him. I got a picture with those guys. I was at the, obviously I know I talked to you, I was at the Good Good event. Got to link up with, that's more my world, I think, the Good Good side. I love Bob, but like I think the Good and that's kind of my future. No, man, it's cool that you bring that up, because I think there are a lot of creators. And you mentioned San Andres. First of all, I from somebody, I really appreciate sketch comedy. Like I had James Lynch on. I had Hannah came on last week,
right?
And then Hannah was awesome, dude. They're so funny. And then obviously Nick, and I really appreciate good sketch comedy, man. I'm glad that there's kind of a niche and that there's a lot of people who kind of do great, because I really appreciate stand up and stuff like that, man. That's awesome from a content perspective. PJ Memes, actually, he's committed to coming on too, man. So got some mutual connections. But anyway, what last thing I want to talk about, then we'll do a couple rapid fires and I'll let you go. You went to TGL. What are your thoughts on TGL, man? Obviously, that's a hot talking point right now. You mentioned you're not super into the pro side, so I'd be curious to hear kind of your thoughts on what you think of kind of being in person for that and what the product's like from your perspective.
So I think I mentioned this on a couple of podcasts I went on. I went to the first match, and then my qualm with the first match was that you couldn't hear the players when you're in there.
Yeah.
And I thought we're talking about getting a fix for that, where everyone gets headphones and can hear it, but they don't want the other team hearing the
that makes sense.
They don't want the teams hearing each other. So that was the main thing about being there. The TV product, I think, is better, but the place itself it'll blow your mind.
Sweet.
Back in there, the amount of cameras that capture everything, the screen itself, like it's crazy. Watching that green spin and undulate, like the heck at that place is insane. And at the end of the day, it might be the first sport now that's like augmented reality. You know, it's a new thing. It's totally new. Sports have always been, besides esports, they've always been, you know, there's a human. Everything's been so human with sports. So it's cool and it's new to have that. And I think, you know, seeing that side of the players is fun too. I think all of the team aspect of golf, it needs to be figured out somehow. And somebody's going to get it right at some point, and I don't know when that's going to be. And I think TBL might be on the right track. Because you have the names that you have behind it, and the fact that you can watch golf in an hour and a half or 2 hours on a night during the week is cool.
For sure.
I know that they want to expand to the other cities and build like the SoFi Center at a bunch of different spots, which will be really cool to get like home team fans and stuff. But I like I said, I don't watch a lot of golf. So for me, it's like Sunday majors or 4 days of majors and Sundays that are close. And it's been tough to watch golf since Tiger's been out. As somebody who was playing golf in Tiger times in the early 2000s, golf was a must-watch TV when he was playing. And it just doesn't really feel that way anymore. So it sucks, but luckily it's so fun to play and you can play it. And it's just, it doesn't matter to me. So
no, I agree, man.
Potential, I do, and I love everybody who works with. I loved working with them, and we're still going to do some stuff in the future. But I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm definitely excited to see where it goes. What are your thoughts?
So I'm hopefully going to go next Monday is my plan when I'm there. I'm staying right by the SoFi Center. Hopefully I can get either a free or cheap ticket. I've tuned in for probably half the matches. I've done some live streams for the channel just to kind of get, my presence out there on YouTube. I agree with you. I don't know if I heard you say it or somebody else, but I heard that you couldn't hear the players talk to each other at the event, which I think is stupid. And obviously I don't know if they fixed it. I guess we'll know more if I go next week, but I think, I've said this to everyone, Sonny, who's came on. I think there are a few things. One, I think we're in a day and age of people just like to bitch and complain. So people are naturally going to bitch and complain about a free golf product when there's no football on a Monday and Tuesday. I think it needs to be competitive. I think at the end of the day, I think we've seen the best matches are the ones that are going to be competitive. It's funny you said I'm not someone who's huge into team golf. Like I'm not a live guy. If I watch, it's not that I don't like live. I just prefer to watch the PGA Tour because that's kind of I've watched some of live, but I just don't like the team stuff. I'm here for individually. I think for me, it's like the Ryder Cup is great, a team event here and now, but like every week. I like what TGL is doing, how it's short season, but like the live season's too long for me to care about that. I am excited to check it out in person. I think if you go in person, I think it'll be very cool. And everyone I've talked to said the tech and the green is just super cool. So I guess we'll see, man. I'm at the day and age of like, I'm like you. I grew up watching Tiger, probably a little later in the Tiger. I was born in 94, so I didn't get to really see dominant Tiger in the early 2000s. But, man, the post-Tiger world, and I don't know if you know Kyle Porter. I just had Kyle Porter of CBS on a couple weeks ago, and he had made a great point about how YouTube has kind of taken over a lot of the younger audience. And so, like, you see that, like, the golf is great, but people aren't watching, man. So I don't know. It's cool. I'm curious to see what the future of golf looks like in 5 years. I mean, we see all this all the time. Full Swing I know just came out yesterday, but like I'm sick of hearing about the money. I'm sick of hearing about we just have here's a status about nothing, like announcement type thing from the PGA Tour. But anyway, Sonny, let's do some rapid fires, man. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. This is super fun. Rapid fires start with favorite golf course that you've ever played.
Tobacco Road. And I'm playing there next week. So
Hell yeah, dude. I love Tobacco Road. I love North Carolina golf. I have a brother-in-law in Wilmington, so I drove down there and played. I played a ton, but I did play Tobacco Road. I do love that track. Nicest, or I should say most prestigious course you've ever played. Or kind of like a course where like, I don't belong here, why am I here type shit.
I would say probably Trump LA felt that way the first time I played it. And TPC Sawgrass feels illegal to actually go out there and play.
I've played it once. I got out there once in college. It's unreal, man. Favorite golfer.
Man, I got to go with Tiger Woods, but I'm also on the Bryson train now. I'm a huge fan.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Favorite content, or I should say favorite content, like favorite creator. It could be Instagram, anybody.
St. Andre. They're the best. And I will say, if it's non-golf related, Friday Beers for me. Friday Beers, they're the best skit guys in the world, non-golf related. So I will say they're definitely an inspiration for me too.
Favorite, I always say favorite content, but favorite meme, or I guess favorite like post that you've made, could be between your Instagram page or the group chat golf Instagram page.
I would say the tight lip nod video is definitely one. The one that resonates with me the most was I'm afraid to yell 4.
That's a good.
That's one that a lot of people can relate to.
Yes,
because nobody likes seeing 4, man.
For sure. Do you have any hole-in-ones?
I have one hole-in-one, Cranston Country Club in Cranston, Rhode Island, the 15th hole, 185 yards, 5 iron.
There we go. Last one, lowest round.
I shot 5 under twice in my life.
Okay.
67, both 67s. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, guys, that's Sonny here on the Scratch Golf Show. Before we wrap up, just make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. But we'll link all Sonny's social stuff in the description. Follow him on Instagram, TikTok, all the good stuff. Before we let you go, Sonny, any last-minute messages, feel free to plug whatever you want. I don't have a ton of sponsorships, so I don't really have any commitments. Plug whatever you want, man. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate this. This is super fun.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun, Marco. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys listening. Original Penguin, go check them out. They're dropping the spring line this week, so... go check them out.
You got a code or anything you want to plug?
No code. I will be posting a video tomorrow. I'm not sure. This will come out next week. So by the time this is out, there will be a video on my page, and I will have a link for you. So.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Make sure you follow the description. Thanks. Appreciate your time, Sonny.
Appreciate you.